please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, it's time for another series preview, and today we're going to be looking at the Western Conference matchup between the 2-seed Colorado Avalanche and the 7-seed Arizona Coyotes. I have to say, I did not expect Arizona to be here. I thought Nashville was going to win that series, but as we saw in the qualifying round across the league, literally anything can happen, and Arizona was able to knock off the Predators and move on, and now they get a very, very difficult matchup against a powerful Colorado Avalanche team that really do have Stanley Cup aspirations this season. So this is going to be an interesting series. You have, Colorado is a very, very good all-around team, but they have some huge offensive firepower. And then on the Arizona side of things, they are very, very much a defense-first team, and they win games low-scoring, lockdown defense, playing well in their own zone. So it very much is a contrast of styles here between the high-flying Avalanche and the much more structured and slowed-down Arizona Coyotes. Before we fully get into things, I just ask that you please subscribe if you are new to the channel and hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, as both of those things really, really help out a lot and are much appreciated. Well, let's take a look here, starting with the Colorado Avalanche, who went 42-20-8 on the season for 92 points, which was second best in the Western Conference, only behind the St. Louis Blues. And during the round robin, they went 2-0-1, which maintained their second seed in the West, and that now has a matchup against the 7th seed Arizona team. So, like I said, they are a very, very good offensive team. They scored 3.37 goals per game during the regular season last year, which was 4th in the NHL. So, high-flying, spectacular offense, can score a ton of goals, and it's going to be interesting to see, can Arizona's defense shut down Colorado's offense, or does Colorado's offense still find a way to break through and produce and push this team on in this series? But it's not just the offense with the Avalanche. They are very, very good defensively too. Somewhat, I think, very underrated defensively. They only gave up 2.71 goals against per game this year, which was 6th in the NHL. So not only do they have a top 5 offense, but they have a top 10 defense as well. And that really makes Colorado one of the best all-around teams in the league this season. Where they weren't as spectacular was special teams, particularly the power play, which with so much offensive firepower like the Avalanche have, you would think they'd have an explosive power play, but they only scored on 19.1% of their man advantage opportunities this year, which was 19th in the NHL. So power play is not actually that big of an asset to them, and it's something that they definitely would like to improve on and get better as they move on in these playoffs. But in the regular season, it was not all that great. Penalty kill was not terrible. They're in the top half of the league. I would say it's good. 81.44% on the PK, 13th in the NHL. So not top 10 material, not a great penalty kill, but definitely not bad. 13th in the league, nothing really wrong with that. Nathan MacKinnon led the team in goals this year with 35. He also led the team in points with 93. And Nathan MacKinnon, I believe, should be the MVP this year because he carried this team on his back. Mikko Rantanen missed significant time. Gabe Landeskog missed significant time. Nazem Kadri missed significant time. Cale Makar missed a few weeks this season. Makar actually finished second on the team in points. A rookie defenseman finished second on the team in points. With 50 this year, 43 points less than what Nathan MacKinnon had. So MacKinnon was the dominant player for the Avalanche all year long, and he really carried this team on his back and got them to where they are to this point in the season. Their leading penalty minute getter was actually Nazem Kadri this year. 97 penalty minutes for Kadri. He was only 3 away from the big 100, but did not quite get there. Colorado overall is got some decent team toughness. There's not a ton of guys there that are going to rack up big penalty minutes other than, Kadri obviously does. He plays that way. And Nikita Zadorov certainly isn't afraid to spend some time in the box either. But, other than that, it's kind of a toughness by committee approach in Colorado, but Kadri was their leading penalty minute getter this season. Moving over now to the Arizona side of things, they went 33, 29, and 8 on the season this year, 74 points. Probably weren't even going to make the playoffs if the season had continued normally. However, they are coming off a huge 4-game series win, 3-1 over the Nashville Predators, in which Arizona really impressed me with the way that they played. And I was a little bit shocked by that result. I thought the Predators were going to take that one, and obviously that did not happen. And Nashville, pretty disappointing, but Arizona, I think, was impressive in the way that they looked. Again, like I said, they're a defense-first team. There's not a whole lot of offense there with the Arizona Coyotes. They only scored 2.71 goals for per game, which is 23rd in the NHL. So they are not a team that's going to go out and win games to 5-4. They need to keep this series low scoring if they want to have a chance against the Avalanche. Defensively, that is where they shine. They only gave up 2.61 goals against per game, which was 3rd in the NHL this year. They are the 3rd best defensive team in the league, especially with a healthy Darcy Kuemper in goal, and that is what they have right now. Their power play, 18th in the NHL this year at 19.2% on the man advantage. Not all that spectacular, just one slot ahead of the Avs. But you would expect that from a team that overall doesn't score a lot of goals, and it's not surprising that a team, 23rd in offense is down at 19 or 18th in power play. However, they're really, really good at defense, and that extends to the penalty kill as well, where they had the 5th best penalty kill in the NHL this season, 82.7% on the PK. So again, great defense 5-on-5, great defense on the shorthanded as well. And that's really how this team wins games, is with their defense. Their leading goal scorer this year was Connor Garland, who had 22 goals on the season. He had a really nice 20-goal season and really was the best goal scorer for them all year long. And this is a team that doesn't have a ton of high-flying talent as far as offense goes. Obviously, they need Taylor Hall to step up big time. They need Phil Kessel to step up big time. But Garland is another important piece now of that team, of that Arizona offense. As far as points go, Nick Schmaltz led the team in points with 45 points on the season this year. Again, 45 points, led the entire team. Schmaltz is a really solid young center for them. I like his game. I like what he brings to the table. And, he's a very important setup man, kind of puck distributor in the middle of that lineup. And he's going to play a big role in the playoffs and in this series for sure. As far as penalty minutes are concerned, we actually have a tie between two defensemen, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Jacob Chychrun. 38 penalty minutes apiece. That led the team this year. This Arizona team does not, not an overly physical team, doesn't really get involved in the rough stuff all that much. Doesn't really have anyone that racks up a whole lot of penalty minutes. And as you can see, a couple guys led the way this season with only 38 penalty minutes on the season. So as far as predictions go, I'm pretty heavy on the Avalanche in this series. You guys know I love the Avs. I'm a huge fan of that team, where they are now and where they're headed in the future. I have the Avalanche going to the Stanley Cup final this year, so obviously if they're going to do that, they need to get by Arizona. And I just think the Avs offense with McKinnon and Rantanen back, Landeskog healthy, Makar back healthy, it's going to be too overpowering. It's going to be too much for the Coyotes. They're not going to be able to score enough to keep up. And I have the Colorado Avalanche in 5 games over the Arizona Coyotes. Listen, I didn't think Arizona was even going to make it this far. Could they surprise me again? Could Kuemper play absolutely outstanding in goal, and they get some big goals from guys like Hall and Kessel and maybe steal this series? Definitely a possibility. I don't want anyone to think that really in any of these series that I think any team doesn't have a chance. Because if you are this far into the playoffs where you've gone through already won a series, or you've gone through the round robin because you were one of the top teams in the league, every single team left has a chance to win each and every series. So I'm not saying Arizona doesn't have a chance. I just personally think that the Avs are going to be too much offense, too much firepower, and they're just going to overwhelm the Coyotes and win this series in 5 games. But with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, our donation link, merchandise store, and Patreon links are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.